What's up, everybody? Welcome to an episode of Heading to Hockey. Charlie, Auggie, and I are on our way to hockey practice. It is Thursday afternoon, the day before the NHL trade deadline, and we didn't have an episode of our podcast this week, so we thought, let's jump in. We've got some stuff to talk about, especially with Nashville Predators trades. So, first, boys, you excited for hockey today?
Yeah, it's going to be. It's trade deadline eve, so there's going to be some trades today.
Yeah, there's going to be some trades today. Definitely some trades tomorrow that we got to keep a lookout. We'll break down all the ones that have happened so far, at least the ones that we can remember, because we'll be doing this from our memory. Because we are driving, and we don't drive and look things up, right?
Yep.
That would be dangerous. So don't forget that it's a little loud in the truck, so we got to talk loud for you to hear us. And we got Auggie with us today.
Yeah!
Augie's not always on the podcast. He's happy to be here with us for a Heading to Hockey episode. All right, well, where should we start? With the Preds?
Yeah, I guess so.
Charlie, what has happened this week?
This week, we started off on...
Lean in a little bit. You're cutting out of frame. There you go.
Monday, right? Against the Red Wings. And this was, obviously, all of these games are very big. We need to win some and see if we're going to start trading away pieces or not. So the Red Wings,
We'll take it back. I mean, even before the Red Wings, because we didn't have an episode on Sunday to catch up.
That's true.
From the Olympic break starting back, the Preds come back with a win in their first game, right? Who was that first one against?
Blackhawks.
Coming out of the break. We beat the Blackhawks. I think it was a comeback victory. I feel like they took the lead, right? And we came back and won 3-2 maybe. And then was the game after that the overtime loss?
Yeah, against the Dallas Stars.
Yes, overtime loss to the Dallas Stars. Then Monday, we had an afternoon game against the Red Wings. And how'd it go?
The Red Wings game. So, I remember they scored first, right as I came down in the first, 5 minutes or so of the game.
Yeah.
And, then, let's see. I'm trying to remember this next one. So, was it the Preds goal? Goalie interference call?
Yes.
Yeah, so, okay, now I remember.
I don't remember if we scored before that or after that, but we definitely tied it up and then took the lead.
I don't think we were in the lead.
We never had the lead?
Yeah, I think we
Just tied it up?
Yeah, I think we just tied it up a couple times.
Yeah, and the Red Wings are such a fast team. Like they were breaking in a lot on 2-on-1s, 1-on-0s. Like they had some good rush chances, and we were hanging in there. I thought it was a good game, but a couple of tough calls went against us, and a couple calls went for the Red Wings, including the call that really maybe was the beginning of the end for this Nashville Predators season. At the end of the game, the game's tied, and we get a power play. And on the power play, I don't remember which player it was. Do you remember that tripped Josi? Marco Kasper trips Roman Josi, takes the puck down, shorthanded. He doesn't score though, right? He feeds it to somebody else.
Yeah.
Who'd he pass it to? Who got that goal? Do you remember?
It's right there. No, that was a different game, but.
No, they go down and score shorthanded to take the lead 3-2, I think. With just a minute left, now we got to pull the goalie, try to tie it up. Just a really rough way to lose the game. And because of the loss to the Stars, that meant we went 1-1-1 in those first 3 games back. Now, going in, if you remember in the last episode that we talked about the Predators, we said coming back out of the break, the Predators were going to have to play some really good hockey. We're talking like somewhere around 18 wins and 7 losses, something like that. So going 1-1-1 is okay. Like technically that's like kind of like breaking even, but not good enough, you know. And I think that already started to kind of send a message to the general manager that, you know, we're probably not going to be able to do this thing. Then Monday's game, we end up having another one on Tuesday, right?
Yeah, against the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Columbus, and let's see. Columbus scores first, a goal from Adam Fantilli. And then how'd the rest of that game go?
I remember Forsberg scored on the power play. I remember they were like up in front of the net and they were jammed it in.
He jammed it through, yep.
Let's see, and then I believe the Blue Jackets scored another one. I don't remember which one exactly.
Yeah.
And then the Predators scored another one of those in front of the net, jamming it in goals from Auggie Weisblatt.
But it ended up getting later credited to Ryan O'Reilly.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so they were both right there jamming at it. Must have like bounced off O'Reilly or something like that first, or Weisblatt didn't quite touch it. We were excited. It would have been Aussie's second goal, but I do think it ended up getting credited to Ryan O'Reilly, who later in the game, actually, while we're on O'Reilly, was that the same game?
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah, same game. He takes a butt end of the stick to the eye. Remember, O'Reilly is one of, or the only, I don't remember, one of the only players left in the league that doesn't wear a visor in front of his eyes. And he takes a butt end of the stick to his eye, leaves the game, you know, super bloody. It does look like it missed his eye. Thankfully, he's okay. He was at practice today, I don't know if you saw, and was wearing a visor for the morning skate today. So I don't know if that's just going to be while he heals, or if this is going to make him go like, oh, I think I should wear a visor now. What do you think, Auggie, about players wearing like visors or cages?
I think they definitely should, because there's so many hockey players that got seriously injured that wouldn't have gotten out of the league or out of the game for a couple of months.
Yeah, and I mean, we were watching the Olympics, and you know, the women all wear a full like cage or bubble, you know, in front of their fishbowl in front of their face. And you know, the argument from players is always like, oh, I can't see as good, or it like impairs my vision. Some people say like the bubble, they don't like the way it makes the breathing feel. And I get that. Like if you get used to a certain way, it's hard to change it. But I don't see why, at least for like new players going forward, going through youth hockey, like these guys are required to wear a cage. I don't know why you don't just make it mandatory from now on going forward. Then they never have anything different, right? So there would never be anything to get used to, because that's what they've been doing their whole life. I don't know. To me, it's crazy to not wear a cage or face mask with so many like risky things, right? The puck flying at your face, the stick hitting you in the face. I guess you wouldn't have the famous Jack Hughes photo if he was wearing a cage, but yeah, I personally kind of feel like I'd be wearing one if I was out there, but that makes them pretty gutsy. So we'll see if O'Reilly plays tonight, but that gets it 2-2. Then what happens the rest of that Blue Jackets game?
So 2-2. Blue Jackets score, and let's see, was the third goal the one that should have been goal interference, or was that the second one?
Both. The second and the third goal, they
yeah.
end up having a little bit of goaltender interference. The first one, Ananen was starting. The second goal, the first goalie interference, he's out of his crease, kind of like trying to take away the angle for the shot, and a player skates right by and like gets his hand as he skates by, which like kind of takes him a little bit out of position. He can't get it back up in time, and they score. You know, I think you can make the argument there that because he's out of the crease and the guy's just skating by, you know, there's no goalie interference, but that was a tough one. And then their third goal, same, a player intentionally pivots around Anunen and kind of like runs into him a little bit from behind in the crease and wasn't pushed there or anything. We have a player there battling with him, but our player didn't push him. Like, he went there on his own. That was his decision. He goes into the crease, bumps Anunen, comes back out. They score. We did challenge it for goalie interference, and they didn't call it. I don't know why it wasn't called. But yeah, that one hurt. And now, we're down 3-2. They get a power play off of that. They don't score. Does it end up being 3-2? They get an empty netter. I think 3-2 is the final, right? We pull the goalie and we're trying to tie it up and can't quite get it done. So, like, tough loss, especially because moments before the game, they find out Michael McCarron has been traded. This is the first trade to drop. Michael McCarron has been traded to the Minnesota Wild. So that was before the Blue Jackets game. So you can't really include that one in Barry Trotz's decision making for why he decided he's going to start selling all the pieces. We're right on the bubble of being able to make it into the playoffs. And so I think a lot of Preds fans were curious on whether they would be sellers, try to get rid of a lot of our pieces, bring the young guys up, and try to collect some more pieces for the future, more draft picks and prospects and stuff. Or if we would keep what we have while we're playing good and see if we can make a playoff run. And I think these just first couple games back out of the break were just enough to show our general manager that probably wasn't going to happen and going to have to sell off a couple pieces. So Michael McCarron's first one to go. And let's quickly wrap this up because we're almost to hockey.
Yep.
2 other pieces were then traded. Who were they?
Cole Smith was traded to the Vegas Golden Knights for a 3rd or 4th round pick.
Yep. Okay, we're back.
And then Nick Blankenburg was traded to the Avalanche for a 5th round pick.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, Michael McCarron, I think, and Nick Blankenburg are the ones that hurt me the most there. I really liked McCarron as our 4th line center. Wins draws, kills penalties, plays hard. Was on Team USA World Championship team last year. Just like pretty much, I always say, like, I think he's the best 4th line center in the league. It's such a funny thing to say because should someone be proud of being the best 4th line center? Wouldn't they want to be higher? But no, I don't think so. I think sometimes in professional sports, you have roles to play, and not everyone's going to be the superstar first line center who has all the playmaking abilities. Sometimes it's a guy that brings a lot of other qualities. Like we talked about with JT Miller and Vincent Trocheck at the Olympics, they played their role so well, and I think that's what McCarron does. So that one hurt to lose. A lot of people say he's like the heart of our team, and Cole Smith kind of similar. He's on McCarron's line. But I think Blankenburg might have hurt even more. He's been so fun to watch. I think there's been times, like when Yossi was injured, where Blankenburg kind of carried the defense, at least the offensive side of the defense, right? He's so fun watching him move the puck, step up and make some nice shots and goals. So what about you, Auggie? Which one are you going to miss the most?
I think Blankenburg.
Yeah.
For a 5th round pick, that's horrible.
I know, some people say no. Some people think like, anything you can get for a player like that who sometimes is scratched, doesn't even make the team, is good. But since sometimes he was like our best or second best defenseman out there, it does feel hard, especially since he was a fan favorite. We were able to get a 2nd round pick for Michael McCarron. And then, like you said, another player, which I think is just because Vegas needed to get him off their roster. What was his name that we got for Cole Smith? Christoph or Sindoff or Sadoff. Yeah, I don't know anything about him, but well, we are at hockey at Provision here in Knoxville. They've got a lesson with Coach Jesse Schultz, former NHL player for the Vancouver Canucks. Pretty cool. What do you guys think? Been having a good experience with Coach Jesse?
Yeah.
Yep.
Been some great practices. He's been helping them a lot. So that's it, everybody. We'll have a normal episode on Sunday is the plan this week, right? So we'll have some more trades to go over by then. A few other trades around the league. Uyghur was traded. Parayko traded. Some bigger names out there. Interesting. Is that it?
Yeah.
Stay saucy. Bye. Bye, guys.